second. Let me get this in. I think this is right. Get this in. All right, there we go. And we're good. Tengen start, which is not one I've actually seen in a while. I mean, I've played the Tengen start myself. It's not... I think I'm going to do that actually next time. When I do like another... maybe the second game tonight, I'll do the Tengen start. I'm also like unfamiliar with this. And because I'm unfamiliar with this, I'm actually going to invade first. Here. I think this is the way you play it. I'm not 100% sure. I would guess this is the way you play it. Okay, that's fair. What do I do here? Guess I could go on top. Or he's forming this over here already. So maybe this is the best move. We'll see. I don't think that's actually a good move. But I don't want him to jump up and form this, like, Moyo against me. That's interesting. Probably should have pincered the other way, actually. Like I said, I'm not all that sure of how to play this right now. I think this is how I should play this. I'm not 100% sure. Unorthodox ways to play is actually the way to beat me. In games like with things like this, like unorthodox playstyles is definitely like the way to beat me, because if you're a weaker player, because I am unfamiliar with unorthodox playstyles. Not familiar at all with unorthodox playstyles like this. And it does actually throw me off. I will say that much. The unorthodox playstyles definitely throw me off. And remember, like, for most of these games, I basically play by reflex until I really, really get into trouble. And sometimes by that time, it's like a little late for me. So we'll see what happens here. I don't like the position I'm actually in right now. I really don't. I really do not like the position I am in. This is a really, really strange position. It's not one I like very much. Let's see what he does with this. It's fine, actually. This is actually a pretty bad position for me. He is spending a lot of time. He is actually spending a ton of time getting that territory. I'm going to make it as least worthwhile as I can for him on that territory. I really don't like the position I'm in right now. I'll say that once again. Not a favorable position for me. I'm just going to ignore that now because yeah, I'm just going to ignore that. I'm going to take all the advantages I can from this. See, like, he's trapped in here with no territory, basically. And I've basically gotten a lot out of this, so I'm going to jump out here. Probably wasn't the best. I should have probably jumped out this way, now that I think about it. Now that I think about it, I should have definitely jumped out that way. This isn't actually a big deal for me. I'm going to do this, but this isn't as big of a deal for me. See how he responds to that move. Okay, that's the wrong response. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. He probably should have just ignored that. I would have definitely just ignored that because that actually gets me back. And now he's the group that's actually weak right now, not me. That's actually what I was after. That's perfectly fine. I'm still weak out here with this group. I am still a little bit, I'm definitely weak out here with this group. I don't like that this much, but I have to go down like this with this particular group. Interesting. Interesting play here. It's kind of a weird fighting type of game that I'm not all that accustomed to. Really am not all that I'm accustomed to this. Really? It's interesting. Well, I've got to do this over here. Um, I should probably do this sometime. Oh, that's not a good move. I am putting myself in way too much danger for this. Definitely putting myself in way too much freaking danger for this. Just like I did last with a 3Q game. Definitely putting myself in a lot of danger for this. And that is really not worth it for me. Could have been better for play R10. Maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe. It's an interesting move. That's getting Atari'd first. Okay. Got to think about this more. Now I've definitely got to think about this a lot more. If I Atari this way, I can't give up this group, obviously. If I Atari that way, that's actually problematic. hate it when that happens. I can't, like... Okay, I have to click once to actually, see what this does first. Also, not the correct move there. Yeah, I can just do this. Still, like, monumental problems over here. Okay. Can't do that. Because that will kill that group. I think this is the only thing I can do. I don't think this is a good move because you're essentially trading your side for my side. Yeah, I don't think I'm even gonna answer. Well, I guess I should.
秒読み
I should. But you're essentially trading your side for my side. That's not going to be answered.
You have won.
I don't think you really should resign there. This type of fights are quite prevalent at our levels. Yeah, I mean it's pretty prevalent at my level. You basically made it. I mean, I'm only up by 7 points. But the thing is, like your mistake was actually like when I played this. I actually like when I play teaching games. I often basically just test to see where responses are. This group was in way more danger than I should have put it in. So this is actually a really interesting fighting game. So Tengen moves, I don't really see how to start, and this is one way you can beat me by throwing me off. In terms of like, I don't really know how to respond to like some of these. I really don't know how to respond to some of these openings. Tell me what move the R10 comment's referring to. So this is I think is okay. This group is already alive, so I should have done this first. So mental note for me. I definitely should have done this first. You can't kill this group. Or this. This is not too bad. The follow-up would actually be this move because it makes you a little bit stronger. And that actually did matter later. So I should actually pincer here and go for this kind of thing. But I guess I flew up here because I wanted to prevent you from making this moyo. I didn't want to go down here or something because if you fly in here and then come up here, then, your moyo gets really big, and I don't like that. So plays here. I'm going to play here. Then you do this. I think I should have attached on this side first, definitely. But this is perfectly fine. This isn't very good. I feel like you're putting too many cutting points here. You just basically do this. I do this. You do this. And then, yeah, these are, this is actually like this is actually a perfectly fine result. This honestly is a perfectly fine result. This is actually a perfectly fine result, something like this. I mean, like, you might think you're not getting much here, but white's also not getting much, and white does eventually have all these cutting points. So this is actually a perfectly fine result. I would probably end up doing this at this point. But so this actually is a pretty good, decent result. Not like a great one, but a decent one at least. And it's pretty even on both sides. So I most definitely played wrong here, but that's not a good move. I guess I should have done this and played out this way, but I actually did this for you to have a lot of cutting points. I'm obviously going to do this first, then Atari here, and I should have gone here, I guess, but I didn't want to give up the corner, so I went here. Instead, doing this, and this is definitely safer than this thing, but I decided to do this. Going on top. Yeah, this is my mistake. I definitely should have gone here, because if I went here, you would have to prevent the over. You would have to prevent the over, and then it's much easier for me to play this way. But after this exchange, like, white's actually not ahead at this point. This is definitely the move to go to, because it's just this is more of a shape thing. Like, if I do this, then your attack is going to be, then you do this, and this is basically just follow through, and then your attack is so much stronger on me because you already have this opening out here and you're strong here. So I'm gonna be pretty weak here. Yeah, I got some stuff here, but you still have this. You still have the corner move, and essentially, like, you would probably either do this or connect this here, and then I would try to go out. But as I go out, I'm still like fighting with you here, but you're basically just eating these two in the process. So this is definitely more of a shape move. I wouldn't actually Hane right now because that just makes me too weak. So that's definitely a move that you actually miss. That's more of a shape thing. I'm gonna do this. So yeah, when I do this, this is definitely the move to go because I can't let you Atari this. Like, if I let you Atari this, like, it's just too damaging to my shape. So I would have to come out here. And this just makes you stronger on this side. So realistically, doing this, letting me go out this way, I should have done this first because this actually does this cut. You would have to block here. I did this later when you didn't have to answer. So that was bad by me. So I came out, you did this, and then essentially this is a pretty bad move by me. It's just creating more weakness for me right now, which I don't really need. I should have fixed this first and then probably like just attack this group. So here you come up, I come up, you do this, I fly in, you do this, I do this, and you come up. So this move, like, it seems like you're getting a lot of points, but if you really count this, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is maybe like 20 points at the most. So I'm going to do this just to get advantages. This is definitely a bad move. Like, you absolutely do this, and then I basically do this, and you don't even really have to answer because if you do this and then I do this, you can always just do this. Well, I guess you do have to answer there. So, I mean, I feel like this is probably like the way it actually goes from here. And if you really look at this, you spent a lot of moves here, but you didn't get that many points. And at this point, like, there's always that move there. And if you answer that move, then I get the go under home. So realistically, there's not like these two, like, I saw these two stones were pretty light. Like, this stone is basically an answer stone. I traded this for this, so it's not really that big of a deal. There's not much territory in here. So spending a lot of stones to capture that territory is not like a good idea. So I extended, you extended again. Obviously, I'm just going to ignore you from now on. I'm going to come out here. I'm basically making as much use of this as possible at this point. So I come out here, he does this, you do this, and I probably should have just done, like, I should have probably just done this, honestly, instead of anything else. So I do this, you do this, I'm going to come here. That's generally not a good move. It's tightening your liberties for one, and I don't know if you saw this down here or not. So I extend it out here, then you do this. I guess I should have come out here, but I guess I should have come out here first with this, but I wasn't confident in this group. So I did this first. Now at this point, you do not have to respond to me. This move doesn't actually threaten anything. So you should definitely like go down here. You should most definitely go down here. Because I did this, because if I went ahead and did this first, and you did this, and I'd be giving you these 4 stones, and I don't want to give you those 4 stones. So I basically did this first, but this is actually a very bad, like I said, like during the match, this is actually a very bad move for me, because you just go down here. You don't actually answer me in this one. You do not answer me here, because like there's like literally 6-7 points here. It doesn't really, it makes you a little bit weaker, but you're not really that weak. This group's not under threat. This isn't really going to be under threat. So answering this move from me is a really, really big mistake from you. And if you're going to answer, you probably would answer this way anyways. So you do this, and plus, like, you know, I still have this move down here. So in the end, you maybe get like, maybe at maximum 6 or 7 points here with all these moves. So you shouldn't have answered this. Against another player of similar rank at 1-dan, I would not have done this move. I probably would have went ahead and just did this, and I might have just went ahead and done that and sacrificed the 4 stones. But I was kind of like testing to see if you knew whether to answer this or not, because the thing about SDK players is like whenever I do a move, they tend to answer, like lower SDK players, and that's kind of like a mentality that you really need to get rid of if you're going to actually improve in this game. You do that, so I'm going to just straight away go do this. That's actually a good move, and I probably should have just let you take the 2 stones, because if I solidify the corner here, I am significantly ahead right now. Remember, I have all the territory here, I have the territory here. You basically just have the 2 stones here, and you have influence, but my territory overrides your influence right now. So this is my mistake actually answering here. It's not too bad of a mistake. I will say it's not that bad of a mistake. Oh, here you don't do this. You definitely do this, and then kind of like extend, kind of like make trouble for me over here. So when I do this and you connect, that's a huge loss. That's a really big loss for you. This is actually a pretty big loss move for me. So here, I should have just done this. You would have to answer, and then I would have the Sente. So I actually made a mistake. I tried to be fancy here, and that cost me some points, but I should have just gone here. But so here's the thing is like, here's the thing about this. Right now, both of us are essentially fighting for Sente. Both of us are fighting for Sente. So you want to get Sente. I want to get Sente. Like, because giving up a Gote here is huge right now. So you do this, I do this, and now it's my Sente. Now it is completely my Sente. I should have done this. I should have 100% done that. But I decided to do this instead. And then you do that. Because like I can't really let you curl this side. I definitely should have done that, and I could have just played this out. So I do that. I come out here, you do this. I'm going to do this. That is the right move. I should have done that and let you just take the stone. That's not such a big deal because I still have that invasion over there. I'm going to do this. And yeah, this is definitely the right move. I would have to do this. I would actually have to fix this right now. I would definitely have to fix this right now. And this result, I would probably go ahead and do this, is okay for both of us because with one move, you can actually solidify this territory down here. So that's actually okay for both of us. But there was like interesting fights that we both missed here. So that's not a good move. I was wondering whether to do this or to do this. I've been favoring just the connect more often because I don't want this kind of peep here. I don't really like that. because that gives you an extra stone this way. So I guess that's why I connected. That's fine. I don't really know why it tells me to do this. I don't have enough confidence to do this right now and just leave this alone. This is huge. Don't get me wrong, that's actually huge, but I needed to play over here to ensure the safety of my group. I've lost a couple of these teaching games just by doing things like this, and then like getting this stuff killed. So that's why I actually done this. I did this. That's okay. That's also okay. So this is this was another place where I tested people. Like I went here and then I connected, and then you went down here. The corner is a little bit bigger over here, but that's not the main point. I guess I should. I mean, it keeps on telling us to go down here, but I would actually, like at your level, even at my level, I would advise against this right now. I would definitely advise against this right now because, like, I don't think either. Like, I'm not confident enough to do this and say this is gonna live. Yes, there's a lot of problems with black down here, but if I end up doing this, and then you just end up doing this, I am not confident at all that I can make two eyes in here. So even though like the AI tells you to go here, I would actually not go here. I would not actually suggest that. So I'm going to Atari first, just to make this over here. You're going to extend. So Atariing, okay, yeah, that's fine. If you extend, there's other stuff too. So I should have, so I do extend, but I mean, like it's telling me to go there, but I'm going to extend. You're going to do that. So I think I was better off maybe just doing something like this, because that does give me like options down here as well. So this is I think this is overgreeding by me and letting you basically do that. So I definitely should have fixed this first. And I could, because like if I fix this first, I can always just like extend down here at any time or even fly down here at any time and cause trouble. So definitely should have fixed myself first before going down. That's just overgreeding by me. I do that. That's actually okay. And this is one of those places where you can actually make use of my weakness here to actually gain advantage, because you can see like how the AI plays out. You would actually be able to break my territory here, although I would be able to break this side. So, but I think this is better for you because you basically separate my territory here. So I do this first, and yeah, this is one area, because if I do this and then you do this, then this group is going to be in a lot more danger than than before. So yeah, this is a pretty complex fight, but based on the situation, I'm weak up here, so you can actually take advantage of this. So like if you want to reach a higher, if you actually want to reach a higher rank, you need to consider the macro game instead of just what you're focusing on right now. Because this macro game is telling you, hey, you can take advantage of the surrounding because white's group is weak up here. So I do this, you do that, and then I'm going to do this. So this is always here because if I connect this, you can actually go through. And I don't know. Yeah, this doesn't really work for me. So you can definitely do this right now. And that obviously would not be good for me. I can also do this, but as you can see, this also does not work for me. So there's a lot of things that just don't work for me right now. Like in the case of this, I would probably just keep going this way and then try to make something down here because I can't afford to lose that group. So the thing is, like, this is definitely the right move for you. That would actually force me to actually give this up. Now, I would be able to, like basically connect on home like this, which is fine because you still have this peep and stuff. But you actually expand your territory by quite a lot this way. And you actually wouldn't be really behind at this point. So, like, this is one of those, like, this is like one of those things, like, instead of this is like really one of those areas where, like, instead of greeting to kill my entire group, this is one of those things where, like, you know what, I'm going to take my victories. I'm just going to take my victory and go home. This is basically like what that is. And that's what you should have done right now. Like, you know what, I'm just going to take my wins and call it a day. Because, like, this actually might be enough to actually get black the win. And this group, honestly, if you want to try to kill the whole group, it's actually quite hard to kill. So you played with me there. And this is another one of those things, like, yeah, I would probably have to connect here. I would definitely probably have to connect there. and this would actually be out of the question, but at least you get some like grounding like down here. So playing this with me was a bad move. Disconnecting. Obviously, I'm going to Atari first. You're going to connect. I should have done this first for more usage, but essentially I'm going to connect here. Now, you could have done this first. I don't think I would have answered that. But playing this first, doing that and allowing me to go this way is a big mistake. Here you would just take this. You would allow me to come. You would actually allow me to come home. You would actually allow me to, yeah, that would still give me trouble. I think I would give those up actually at this point. So that's a lot of trouble. So like, you do actually like still reserve this move. I guess I think that's actually how I would actually end up. So, and that's not bad for you because there's a lot of territory down here. I would probably end up doing this right now. I would either end up doing this or maybe end up doing this. Although this is problematic because if you connect this, you can still kind of like cut here. So probably wouldn't do that right now. But you end up doing this. I connect here. That's actually okay. Getting this. And I'm going to Atari this and then go down. That's fine. See, like, it keeps on telling me to do this. But I'm afraid if you... Oh, actually, no. I should have seen... See, like, I'm afraid of this, that if I do this and you cut... I don't really know how it would actually live because remember, if I do this, you can do this. And I would have to cut, you do this, and then like this is kind of dead. So that's actually why I wouldn't do that. So that's why I actually needed to go down here. And this is also why I didn't play here, because you can just go ahead and cut. And if I Atari here, you just Atari back here. And yes, sure, you would sacrifice. I would actually try to kill this entire thing right now, but it would be a very hard kill. I would be trying to kill this entire group. It'd be a very hard kill. It'd be kind of a hard kill for me though, but because you would actually have eaten this, and I can't win if you get that, obviously. So there's always like that option right there. So that's why when you did this, I had to do this. And I gave you the go ahead and attack in. Yeah, I should have just done this. Definitely should have just done that. But I'm going to go ahead and do this. You're going to do that. And here I feel like, yeah, the best move by far is just to do this. Because if I do that, you haven't hurt your group down here nearly as much. Because right now, like you're basically comparing this to you're basically comparing this to this, right? And you're basically comparing this to like this. And that earlier one was much better. So most of the times I would tell you to Hane the corner, but in this particular case, you do not Hane the corner because it hurts your side over here. So that the Hane the corner thing, because it affects other parts of the board, is why you actually don't Hane the corner right there. So you do this. Yeah, you would basically do this right now because this honestly is not all that big. Because I'm not going to respond to you here. So I just played this and that's when you resign. I'm only up by like 7 points right now. So I don't think you should actually resign at this point. I would do this. And then I would probably do something like this. You can come down here because if I do this, you can just do this. So I wouldn't actually be able to, do that much. I would have to connect. You would have to do this. And then after that, I would probably come in here or something at that point. And I do think I have slightly more territory than you do, but it wouldn't be like I'm only winning by 7.2. So it's not like I'm terribly ahead at this point. So this game should have actually been played on because there's actually a lot of interesting stuff that goes on here. Because there's, like for me, I'm always afraid that you're going to do something like this. and that's actually a lot of points for you right there. So these are just like these are essentially like pretty easy things because I obviously like if I connect here, then you have that, and this does not bode all that well for me. This definitely does not bode well for me. So that is always there. I could when you do this, I can always I can go down, but then I don't have liberties there. So I'm actually forced to do this. So this is actually a pretty big weakness in here for me as well. So yeah, you definitely should not have actually like resigned this game because this game is actually very, very interesting. And even though I am ahead right now, it's not by all that much. So you actually did play a very good game. You did actually catch me off guard on a lot of these plays here. You did make a mistake here, but I also made a lot of mistakes in the fighting. So thank you for the game. That was very, very interesting. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I will be back hopefully tomorrow.